In this video, I am discussing 6th class social science history, chapter 1, introduction to history and prehistoric society. See, what is history? The systematic presentation of past events is called history. History means the systematic presentation of past events is called history. It introduces the journey of human beings. It tells about the failure and success of humans in that journey. Okay. Note the difference between story and history. Two examples given here. What is history is, what is story is. Story means once upon a time there was a king in one place. He fought a battle. This is type of a story. And history, in history, in 261 BC, the king Ashoka, who was ruling Patliputra, fought the battle against Kalinga state. This is an example of history. In story, events are not mentioned. In history, when incident happened, a specific year mentioned. Why do we need history? Why do we need history? Because history tells our ancestor experiences of joys and sorrows and problems faced and decisions taken at the time of good or bad. Not only that, it warns when taking further decisions. The philosophies, ideologies of our ancestor in history has become the model and beacon to the future generations. Their bravery, prowess, and sacrifices will be an inspiration to them. Besides, this history creates admiration and respect by introducing our culture and heritage. Why history need? By introducing our culture and heritage. Herodotus of the Greece country, name of the historian, Herodotus of the Greece country was the first person to show how to create history. Therefore, he is called as father of history. Father of history is Herodotus. What are the sources for history? See, sources. Those who specialize in the study of history are called historians. They use evidences to tell history concretely and definitely. They need sources for telling history. Hence, it is said that without the proper source or ground, there is no history. There are two types of historical sources. One, literary sources. Two, archaeological sources. See, first one is literary sources. The historical background of the literary sources are in the form of written and oral. Here, written and oral, which has passed from one to the other. There are two types of literature. One is written and two is oral. One is written literature, second one is oral literature. Written, written literature is further divided into native and foreign literature. Oral literature includes folk songs, stories, ballads, and legends, etc. While the writers of the written literature are literates, but the oral literature is illiterate. Written literate, written literate, written literature are literates. Oral literature is illiterate. Okay. Archaeological sources. Second one is archaeological sources for history. The remains of the physical objects, the remains of physical objects constructed, built, or used by prehistoric men are the archaeological sources. The remains embedded in the earth will be extracted through excavation. See, excavation. Archaeological sources include fort, shard, coin, inscriptions, monuments, and other remains. Excavation is the scientific method. See, what is excavation? Excavation is the scientific method of digging out of ancient human remains or fossil using a brush, trowel, knife, and wooden needle like a sharp implement. The remains extracts like a fort shards, coin, beds, crystals, and bones found in the soil are taken out and subjected to study. Historian subjected to study that excavated parts. Sources of history, see in flow chart. Literary sources, written literary, oral, written literature, oral literature, written literature. There are two types. One, native literature. Second one, foreign literature. In oral literature, Lawanis, folk tales means stories, historic, legendary. Third one is historic, legendary. In archaeological sources include monuments, coins, inscription, other archaeological remains. Some of the pictures shown in archaeological and other sources. Chronology in history. Chronology in history. CE means common era. Chronology has started from a significant day. Such chronology is called Shaka. The Christian era begins with the specific timeline in which Jesus Christ lived. If we say Vijayanagara Empire was found in 1336 AD, means 1336 years have passed since the year of Jesus. Chronology is done in other Shaka forms. There are Shakas like Shahalivan Shaka, Gupta Shaka, Vikrama, Hizari Shaka, etc. Generally, present the historian native practice is common era. Generally, now using common era. A century is 100 year. Century means 100 year. We are in 21st century. That means 2000, from 2001 to 2100. See here, specific timeline in which Jesus lived. Here 0 is there, and this in left side in quadrant we showed this is positive axis, this is negative axis. Therefore, here pre-common era, first century, second century, third century. Here common era, first century, second century, third century. What year? What year? Years, years help us to understand the progress of humankind. The purpose of years indicate the sequencing of events chronology in order. Years are not they're only for the memorization. See, prehistoric society. Generally, history can be classified into three major periods. History can be classified into three major periods. First one is prehistoric period. Second one is proto-historic period. Third one is historic period. The prehistoric period comprised of 99.9% of human history, but there are only few sources available to study about that period. Hence, space provided to prehistoric in history is very limited because sources not available. That's why limited space is given for prehistoric period. The period next, the period in which the knowledge of script was not found. Not found. This period is called prehistoric period. I repeat once again. The period in which the knowledge of script was not found. This period is called as prehistoric period. Example, Stone Age. Next, when a period when script were understood and couldn't be read in the present period is called proto-historic period. Proto-historic period. Scripts were there, but we couldn't read that script. This period is called proto-historic period. Example, Harappan civilization. Many scripts were there in Harappan civilization. Now also inventing many scripts in Harappan civilization, but not able to read that all. Next, a period when you are familiar with the script. Familiar with the script and those script can be read even today is called historic period. Historic period means scripts were available and we can read today also. That period is called historic period. In the process of life evolution, firstly unicellular organisms followed by molluscs, fish, plant, insect, amphibians, winged insect, reptile, birds, mammals, flowering plant, grass, apes, and biped evolved. Approximately 18 lakh years has taken for human evolution. Oh, 18 lakh years. Such a great year. There are three stages in prehistoric period. In prehistoric period, there are three stages. First one is Paleolithic age. Paleolithic age. Second one is Mesolithic age. Third one is Neolithic age. What is Paleolithic age? See, this period is the beginning archaeological period of human history. People of this period lived upon eating fruits, tubers, corns, colors, and yams. They wandered and lived as nomads in caves, taking shelter under rocks. They take shelter under rocks. They used knife, they used knife, large stone tools and awls, and fields made from pebbles. They used leaves and barks to cover themselves. They used leaves and barks to cover themselves. They used leaves and barks as a cloth. Since the fruits, tubers, corms, callus, and ants not available in all the seasons, they learned fishing and hunting during the late Paleolithic period. They learned fishing and hunting during the late Paleolithic period. In the end of the Paleolithic period, they learned fishing and hunting. For the first time, fire was introduced in uh, Paleolithic period. For the first time, fire was introduced. The major site noted for this Paleolithic old stone age is Bolan Valley of Madhya Pradesh, Hunasgi, and Baijbal province of Karnataka, Kurnool, Amravati of Andhra Pradesh, Attirampakkam of Tamil Nadu, etc. Generally, the period of Old Stone Age is noted between 5 lakh years to 12,000 years. This Paleolithic is noted between 5 lakh years to 12,000 years. Next, Mesolithic age. This is the transitional period between Paleolithic age and Neolithic age. Hence, it is called Mesolithic. Mesolithic age. The human beings of this age, instead of using big rock tools, they use skillful stone weapons. They used in this period, they used skillful small stone weapons. Hence, this period is called micro age. This period is called micro age. They attached these sharp weapons to the edge or tip of stick or to an arrow and used as a spears for hunting. They were collecting wild grains for food. Since continuously they did not get the prey and grains, which left them hungry for many times. The solution which they found was to bring animals that got injured or survived cubs and graze them. These animals become reserved emergency food for them. This slowly gave rise to pastoralism. Mesolithic human beings were constantly wandering for their food and animal fodder. In their leisure time, in their leisure time, they used to draw pictures on the store and in barren places. They used animal skin as their, they used in Paleolithic, they used leaves. Here, they used animal skin as their upper clothing. They had the good practice of using fire The prominent places of this age of Madhya Pradesh are Bhimbetka and Adamgarh, Brahmagiri and Kanaganahalli of Karnataka, Bagor and Ganeshwara of Rajasthan, Birbanpur of West Bengal, Vanapasari of Andhra Pradesh, Sarai Naharai and Mahadaha of Uttar Pradesh. The Mesolithic period was between 12,000 years to 9,000 years. Paleolithic years is 5 lakh to 5 lakh years to 9 lakh 9,000 lakh 9,000 only 5 lakh years to 12,000 years. Here 12,000 years. This is Mesolithic age 12,000 years to 9,000 years. Next, Neolithic age. As Mesolithic humans were all herders, including their animal, there was a scarcity of food. Instead of wandering, Neolithic age people camped in one area. Here, they are camped in one area and focused on food. They started the agriculture in the fertile alluvial soil, which was on the banks of the rivers. They introduced agriculture on the banks of rivers. They started agriculture here. Agriculture provides Neolithic age people with a grain and fodder for their livestock. So they stopped the nomadic life and started to settle in suitable lands. Thus, agriculture became a step towards the rise of culture and civilization. The earliest traces of agriculture in Indian subcontinent are found at the site of Mehergarh in Pakistan. See, earliest traces of agriculture in the Indian subcontinent are found at the Mehergarh in Pakistan. While these for their living, they constructed dry brick houses, whereas Burjhom people of Kashmir built underground caves. See, underground caves. When they came across with the problem of storing of the grains produced in agriculture, they found a new method like handmade pots. Here, the people making handmade pots. They also brought into use of tools of wiping, stinging, and grinding. During this period, the earliest villages started to flourishing. After the introduction of wheel, variety and qualitative pots were manufactured. Okay. Neolithic site, Neolithic site traced in India. Here, Burjbum in Kashmir, they lived underground. Mehergarh, Bagor, Madaha, Sarai Nagar Rai, Chiran, see, blue color indicate Paleolithic age, red indicate Mesolithic, triangle indicate Neolithic, circle indicate Paleolithic, square indicate Mesolithic, triangle indicate Neolithic age, Neolithic sites. See once again. Bhimbetka, Adamgar, Kanaganahalli, Hunasagiri, and Bachbal, Amravati, Karnool, Attirampakkam, T. Narsipura. Age of metals. See, age of metals. The use of metals started towards the end of Neolithic period. The first metal which human beings used was the copper. They learned to add tin to this copper and introduced the bronze. Bronze is an alloy. Bronze is an alloy which is harder than the copper. Copper and bronze stone age. Since the number of copper and bronze weapons were very less, the metal weapons continued along the way. Therefore, this period is called Copper and Bronze Age. This has been traced 5,000 years. Agriculture and animal husbandry were their main occupation. Here, in this period, agriculture and animal husbandry were their main occupations. During this period, we find the decorated pots made from wheels, copper tools, and ornaments were also found. Okay. Iron is. Iron is very hard metal. Iron is very hard metal. The iron was used before the copper in South India. The iron was used before the copper in South India. Iron came into use in South India as early as 3,500 years before. Copper came in 5,000 years ago, but Iron Age started as early 3,500 years before. This period is also known as Iron Age is also known as the period of massive stone culture. The period of massive stone culture. Iron weapons and tools were aided in agriculture and handicraft production. As the use of iron became intensified in the North India, the agricultural activities also became more. This resulted in excess production. To control this hegemony, surplus production here emerged a class in 2,600 years before. They are only republics. Then the kingdom like Nanda and Maurya flourished. The sites which have been traced in Karnataka are Banahalli, Hirebenakanakallu, Brahmagiri, Koppala, Heggadehalli, T. Narsipura, Hemmige, Halluru, Jadigenahalli, Savanadurga, Hatridurga, Pandavaradinne, etc. Pandavaradinne. See some exercise. Fill in the blanks with the suitable words. A period of uncertainty with script is called as Paleolithic case. Paleolithic case. Microlithic age is also called Mesolithic case. Mesolithic case. The earliest agriculture sites traced in Subcontinents traced in Indian subcontinent are found in Mehrgarh of Pakistan. Mehrgarh of Pakistan. Pakistan. The father of history is Herodotus. Herodotus. See these questions, very simple. This completes your chapter. If you like the video, hit the like button. Thank you for watching.